Hello, everyone. My name is Adam Orgel. I'm running on Bob Croghan's Slate. Been working with OSA since February of 2009, and I'm going to give a quick history of my involvement in the field of labor relations and my background. So I grew up working at a hardware store. That was my first introduction to labor unions. There were gentlemen who would walk into the store every day wearing different t-shirts. I thought they were in some sort of cool social club, but you'd have the Brotherhood of Electrical Workers, and you'd have the elevator repairmen, and you'd have the stagehands, and folks like that, normal unions that you would see in New York City. And I got to know these guys, and they were great guys. But it didn't click until I was 17, 18 years old, looking to apply to college. I was interested in civil rights. I was also looking for something affordable. So Cornell University has a labor program. Cornell is an Ivy League university. It's very expensive, but if you live in New York State, they have select programs that are state subsidized. So I applied to the labor school, which was more than half off of the regular tuition, and it was about civil rights. I'd been studying people like MLK. So I was fortunate enough to get into the labor school. Studying labor relations, collective bargaining, and labor history since I was 18 years old. While at Cornell, spent some time living with farm workers. You want to really get a sense of the workman's plight. You can live with men and women who are working for their landlord, are earning an income just to pay off their rent. These are indentured servants. The problem still exists to this day. That was an eye-opening experience. Also, when I was at Cornell, had my first in-house legal work with the labor union. So I was at the Carpenters Benefit Fund when I was maybe 20 years old, shadowing their general counsel. This is when, in my mind, I really decided I want to work for a labor union. This was 20 years ago. And I've been on that track ever since. So worked for the Carpenters Benefit Fund. My first exposure to working in-house at a labor union set me on the path that I've been on to this day. So after studying labor relations at Cornell for 4 years, I graduated, went to law school, Brooklyn Law. While at law school, let me back up. I just want to say when I was at Cornell, I also worked for the State Division of Human Rights and the Tompkins County Division of Human Rights. These are administrative agencies that do intake for discrimination complaints. I worked in labor and employment-related complaints, so you would get discrimination based on race or religion or ethnicity at the workplace. You'd get sexual harassment claims, and we would have to investigate those claims. So I've been working on those EEO issues also for about 20 years when I worked at the State Division of Human Rights. So I graduated Cornell, went to law school. At law school, I worked at the National Labor Relations Board, which is the federal agency that deals with labor complaints. I also worked at the Screen Actors Guild, which is a labor union that represents the actors and actresses who work in movies and TV shows and commercials. At the Screen Actors Guild is where I made my first presentation in a real live arbitration. So I had always done mock arbitrations and mock mediations and mock negotiations. But at SAG, when I was in law school, they actually allowed me to present on behalf of a member at the Screen Actors Guild. So that's when I made my first arbitration arguments, and we prevailed, fortunately. Also worked at law firms doing labor and employment related issues when I was in law school, which is what you're expected to do, is to work in those law firms. So I did. Graduated law school in 2007, did work in a law firm for about 2 years before, saw a job posting for an in-house legal position at OSA. I interviewed with Bob Croghan, the general counsel Len Schreier, and my mentor Tim Collins, and was fortunate enough to be offered a position. February 2009, started working for OSA and have been there ever since. I started as a line attorney doing arbitrations and improper practice petitions and normal legal work. Since then, my role have changed a few times. Like most people here, I wear a lot of hats. But in 2015, again, my mentor, Tim Collins, he passed away tragically. At that point, I assumed his role as director of the grievance department and have been sitting in that role ever since. I was also made chief negotiator more recently when it comes to our collective bargaining agreements and negotiating those contracts. So I do have a fair amount of experience. It pales in comparison to the experience that someone like Bob Croghan has, right? Someone who's been negotiating contracts for decades upon decades, who knows every player in labor relations in New York City, and has known them for decades. You know, experience trumps all. So it's great that I've been working and studying the field for 20 years, but when it comes to decades of experience, can't compare. But I do have 20 years of experience, okay? So I've been doing this for 20 years. I encourage anyone who needs assistance in any capacity, big issues, small issues. The union is here to serve its members. The only reason we exist is for the benefit of our membership. So if you are a member and you need help, you can call the office, 212-686-1229. We are open every business day. We have folks stationed there to answer your calls every day. You can also send emails. We work for you. If anyone needs to talk, you can call me or call any of my colleagues at the union office. I'm happy to answer any other questions or assist you in any way we can, and I hope to make some more videos. Nice talking to everyone. Have a good day.